this is actually a great program if you're really short on time. It's total body, so we're hitting all the major muscle groups. And like I said, the best part is it's quick, it's time efficient. Anybody can do this. So I got my bands here. This is what I normally train with anyway, even when I'm doing longer, more intense workouts. I do like to wear full finger gloves when I work out. Bands, just the natural latex actually creates a lot of friction, and it can actually be uncomfortable. I train my whole life with weights with no gloves, but with bands I absolutely do. So here's what we do. We're gonna go through 7 different exercises. We're gonna go through each of them in sequence. We're gonna rest for a minute in between, and then we're gonna go through those 7 exercises again. So it's about 15 minutes in total. I want you to focus on just good controlled movements here. So we want to focus on a nice controlled concentric movement. So in a biceps curl, that would be on the way up. We want to focus on a good isometric contraction, a squeeze, and a controlled eccentric. So exercise number 1 is for lower body. It's squats. We're not going to do overhead squats like I do with a lot of my workouts. We're just going to squat down, get it over our arms right next to our shoulder. And this is our starting position. Feet shoulder width apart. Keep that chin up. We're going to drop that butt back down, thighs parallel to the floor. We're going to press it back up. Nice controlled speed. And we're going to do 15 of these. So that was 2. There's 3. See, I'm not rushing these and I'm not bouncing at the bottom. Nice pause at the bottom. Squeeze at the top. And repeat. See, a lot of people that bounce at the bottom, that just puts a lot of unnecessary stress on the body, especially the joints. So make them each distinct phases. Pause. Concentric. Pause. Isometric. Eccentric. Pause. Now, a little pause at the bottom actually really makes you work too. Okay, we're going to do, I think, 1 more. I lost track with all that talking. All right, 15. Don't just slap the band off. Go ahead and deload the band. Squat down. Comes off real easy. All right, so that's lower body. Now we're switching up. We're moving to upper body. And we're going to move to shoulders. So, same rep count here, 15 reps. Same way we start with our squat, we're going to do the same thing. Shoulder width apart with our feet. I want you to squat down, get under the band, and stand up. And there's your starting position. So when you press these, I don't want you coming to the middle. I want you to focus on coming straight up. So it's going to look like this. Up all the way, pause, control it on the way back down. Now the band's trying to pull your hands closer together, so by you keeping them out, you're also isometrically working those deltoids. Trust me, it's much harder to do 15 controlled reps, nice and slow, than 15 fast ones, and that's because of time under tension. We want about 3 seconds for our rep speed. That's 3 seconds of time under tension multiplied by number of reps. They say the ideal number of reps for muscle building, which is pretty old school, is 10 reps. That's not necessarily true. You can build muscle 20 reps. But what you really want to focus on is time under tension. So the reason they came to 10 was because 10 reps times 3 seconds of time under tension is about 30 seconds, which is the ideal minimum amount of time under tension to build muscle. So if you're doing 10 reps and you're rushing them, and you get like 20 seconds, you're missing out. Okay, we're gonna do one more. There we go. Control it down, deload the band, take it off. So that was shoulders. Now we're gonna move right into biceps. I'm just gonna stay with this band. Same thing. All these exercises I call unanchored. Even though we're anchoring under our feet, we don't have to anchor it to anything like a bar or a door, etc. That's what this is for right here. This is a universal anchor that Undersun makes. You can anchor that side in the door, loop your band in there, or it's got buckles in the long strap, wrap it around trees, etc. This is actually a super awesome tool. But we don't need that here with this workout. So, depending on how tall you are, you're gonna grab this band differently. If you're shorter, and by the time you stand up, if there's any slack in the band, then you're either gonna have to widen your feet to take out the slack, or you're just gonna have to reach further down. But at the start of the motion here, we wanna make sure we have good tension at the bottom, at the start. And that's a big mistake people make with bands. They'll do an exercise, and through half the range of motion, they don't have any tension because the band is slack. Okay? Tension all the way through the range of motion. Whether you're doing bands, free weights, doesn't matter. Here we go. Keep that chest out, chin up, elbows at your side. Curl it up. Nice controlled eccentric. It's 2, 3, 4, 5. Stay disciplined with that rep speed. 6. Always see people rushing their reps. 7. Especially that eccentric. They just want to let gravity take that dumbbell down. If you try doing it with bands though, it's going to snap your hands down. I'll show you, right? If I curl it up and I try to relax, you don't want to do that. Control it all the way through. All right, one more rep. Good. Now I'm taking a little bit longer because we're explaining stuff here. If you just cruise through this stuff, then it's nice and fast. So that was biceps. We're gonna go ahead and move right into back. Just like before, anchor the band under the feet. But this is what I'm talking about, taking the slack out of the band. We're gonna do a bent over row, right? Hands are gonna come here. We're gonna rotate, and I want you to bring it back towards your hips. I always tell people, think about putting something in your back pocket, because I don't want you coming here to the front. It's gotta come out here, almost touching the sides of your belt buckle if you were wearing a belt. But if I do that with the band without taking the slack out, you can see I have no tension right here. So we're gonna reach down the side of the band, and I want you to take out that extra tension so you have enough right here at the beginning of the range of motion. Keep that back flat, chin up. Squeeze back. Okay, see the hands rotating? Goes from palms facing back to palms facing forward. There's 4, 5. I want you to focus on pulling your elbows back. Don't focus on pulling your hands. I'm going to pause just for a second here to show you what I mean. If I pull with my arms, I focus on my hands, this is what it looks like. Look at this. This is biceps. I'm still pulling it, but all the motion is at the elbow. There's none at the shoulder. We want to focus on pulling those elbows back. It's a whole lot less motion at the elbow, less biceps. Now, if you're having trouble holding on to that, if you don't have gloves, little tricks you can do. You can always wrap the band around your wrist like that. Just that little bit can make a difference. Makes it a little easier to grip sometimes. All right, let me just finish those out. I'm actually getting my workout, not just telling you guys how to do this. Got my own goals, you know. Okay. We did shoulders, did back, biceps, now triceps. Same deal. Step on the band. You don't have to go shoulder width. If you want to increase the resistance, then by all means, go wider with your feet. It also depends on how tall you are. All right, starting position, we're gonna do it the same way. Get underneath of it, squat up. Here's our starting, well, halfway starting position. Here's our start, okay? If you're 6 feet tall, it's gonna be harder than if you're 5 feet, because bands are tougher the more you stretch them. It's called linear variable resistance. So you may need to adjust the band that you use or your stance or your grip to get the proper amount of tension depending on your workout and or your height. Okay, thing I want you to focus here. Keep those elbows pointed towards the ceiling. Don't let them come out here pointed out towards the side, right? Keep them up. Try to be disciplined, keep them in one spot. Extend all the way up, back down. All right, there's 13. There's 14. One more. 15. Okay, same thing, bring it down, take the tension off. Now, we're gonna move into chest. Same rep count, 15 reps. We're gonna do a push-up, but banded push-ups. Couple things I want you to think about before we even grab the band. When you do your push-ups, we're gonna go with a hand position slightly wider than shoulders. I think you can see the angle of my arms. That's shoulder width. See how my arms are parallel? We want them to go out just a little bit. But as we press up, right? So I'm gonna go down. As we press up, what I want you to think about is pretend that you're squeezing your hands closer together. I don't want them to actually move. What I want you to do is contract your pecs. Because what your pecs do is help bring our arm across our body. That's why we do cable flies, etc., or dumbbell flies. So think about bringing those hands closer together, even though they're locked into one position. Now with the band, grab it like so, come around the back. I want you to go just underneath the shoulder blade. If you go too high as you're doing these push-ups, it can come off and hit you in the back of the neck. Okay. Kick my flip-flops off here. Here we go. Setting up for this, you don't want to, make this awkward. So what I like to do, because if you try to come down here without stretching it, it's kind of hard to get in position. So first thing I do is a press, hands forward, feet out. Get my proper width, and here we go. Control these. 2, it's not a race. I know a lot of people do push-ups for reps. We're not doing this for reps. We're doing this for quality contractions. There's 6. If you're using the right resistance, it should be burning already. Especially if you're squeezing it the way you should be. Notice I come all the way to the ground. I don't sit here and just rest, but I want to make sure I'm coming all the way to the ground. I want full range of motion. Okay, one more. Bring those knees back, lean back, then the band. Okay. So we've gone through legs, shoulders, biceps, triceps, back. Now I like to mix in a little abs. We can do them with the bands. I'll show you two variations. One, we can just do a normal crunch. All right, I want you to bring the legs up, just cross them. You don't have to lift our hips for this, but what I want you to focus on is keeping constant tension. In other words, I don't want you resting at the bottom. When you come to the bottom, you're gonna stop short. Keep tension on those abs. So we're gonna crunch up, nice and controlled rep speed. Back up, hold it, control it down. So here's a variation with the bands. Grab a lighter one. You do it over the top of your arm, or you can come by your armpit. With these, it's a little easier because what we're gonna do is almost like a punch. Same position with the legs, but as you crunch up, punch left, down, and the opposite. Yeah, that little punch that comes at the end makes you focus on that isometric contraction. Okay, so that's a little more advanced movement, or we can just do them regular. Notice I'm just supporting my head with my fingertips. I'm not grabbing my head and I'm not pulling on my head. I'm just supporting the weight of my head. Which my head is very heavy. Probably because I'm so dense. Okay, one more. There we go. So, recap. Legs, exercise number 1. Shoulders, exercise 2. Then we went into biceps, exercise 3. Bend over rows, exercise 4. Then we did, what did we do after bend over rows? We did triceps, right? That's number 5. We did chest with our push-ups, number 6. Abs, number 7. Notice we went through all those sequentially without a lot of rest except for me talking. So you should be able to rip through those back to back to back. If you do that, it's also going to get your heart rate up. So even though this is only a 15-minute workout, you can still actually burn some calories here because we're getting our heart rate elevated and we're keeping it there. If you go into the gym, you do a really hard set, but then you rest for 3 minutes, your heart rate comes back down. So try to keep your heart rate elevated twofold. One, you get your workout done fast. 2, you burn more calories. So all I do, rest for a minute, and I start over at the top. And I do the whole thing again, just one more time. So it's 2 sets every exercise, 15-minute workout. Obviously you can do it here, anywhere, in the house, in the backyard. You can do it at work, do it at the park with the kids, wherever you want. You have total freedom to be able to train anytime, train anywhere. And again, 15-minute workout, come on. No excuses. Anyone can squeeze in 15 minutes to get this done. So there you go. There's a workout that anybody can do. No excuses.